menopause won't affect my performance at work because my time management, focus, diet, and lifestyle are excellent. And if the hot flashes get bad, I'll just get something from the doctor. Famous last words. Before you experience how much perimenopause can affect your ability to think, your mood, your sleep, and your energy, it's hard to imagine. One woman I spoke to had gone back to school in her 40s and she was rocking it, straight A's the whole first year, totally on top of the coursework. Then partway through the second year, she hit perimenopause like a brick wall, and her brain was so foggy. She said she'd sit and read the same paragraph over and over and over, and she had to take a leave of absence from school to get her hormones balanced before she flunked out. And you're in good company because almost all women in America go into menopause feeling unprepared. We do not have the know-how to prepare or manage our hormones. It's just not in our life skills toolkit because we're never taught that. So why can't we just go to the doctor if things get bad? Most doctors don't have much training for menopause. In fact, 80% of OBGYNs say they're not trained for it, and 75% of physicians say they don't feel comfortable talking to women about menopause symptoms. And when we as women aren't taught and prepared what's going to happen with menopause, what happens all the time is things like women get breast tenderness as their first sign of perimenopause and think they're pregnant because we don't even recognize menopause symptoms when they begin. And the same thing happens even with women who are really great at work and managing all aspects of their life. Like Oprah, who got heart palpitations as a first sign of menopause and spent 2 years from ages 48 to 50 when maybe somebody should have thought of it. She worked with a doctor, a cardiologist, couldn't get relief because none of the doctors recognized her heart palpitations and trouble sleeping were due to hormones. And when you're not sleeping or have terrible brain fog, I'm telling you, it trumps willpower in even the highest IQ, and it affects your performance at work and everywhere else. So what did Oprah do? She got help from a menopause expert and got on a plan to manage her hormones for the symptoms she was having then and to manage them for the rest of her life. And she got relief and she came back better than ever with good hormone management. She's been experienced vibrant, creative, high performance aging post-menopause as well. So let me show you what's going to happen during menopause and a proactive way to prepare for and manage symptoms before they ever get to the point where they interfere with your performance. First, you want to understand where you're at in the menopausal transition. Now, before age 28, could be even sooner or a little later, you're probably pre-menopause. Your hormones have not yet started to drop. From on an average about age 28 until a year or two after your last period, you're in the menopausal transition. That whole time, your hormones are changing from their highest levels to their lower after menopause levels. Now, they change very slowly at first, and you won't notice anything at first, except it might be harder to get pregnant. But then eventually they'll start to drop more quickly, and the hormone levels will drop low enough, you'll start to see some symptoms and or changes in your cycle. And eventually your period will stop. And a year or two after your last period, your hormones will stabilize again. So they're stable here and they're stable here. They'll stabilize again. They're settling in at their new postmenopausal level. You're in postmenopause and you're there supporting your hormones, making sure they never drop too low for the rest of your life. That's what's going to help with healthier aging. So now that you know which stage you're in, one of the most important things is to recognize hormonal symptoms when they happen. Every hormonal symptom is there to help you. It's your hormone's way of communicating with you, telling you something's out of balance and here's what we need right now to correct it. In fact, if you're really paying attention, those symptoms are telling you the fastest path to relief and how to solve not just one hormonal symptom, but many of them at once by getting the underlying imbalance causing the whole cascade of symptoms. And here's how you can do this. Start to notice your symptoms. Notice everything your body is telling you and include changes in mood and thinking as well. To do this, every night for a week, write down any symptoms you have that you think might be hormonal or that are new, that you didn't have a few years ago. Because often we go through life being so busy, we're not even really paying attention. And now, not every symptom is going to be related to menopause, but it might surprise you how many are. And knowledge is power here. If you're not paying attention, you won't have that knowledge. So the first skill to develop is paying attention and noticing. And once you're aware of what's happening, what do you do? Well, the goal is to keep all your hormones high enough. So even though they're dropping, none of them ever drop too low. And to keep them in a nice balance with each other while they change. Those are the keys to minimizing symptoms and signs of aging. So, when you're preparing your hormones before menopause stops, you're topping off your hormone levels, especially progesterone, before they start to drop. It's like filling the gas tank before going for a long drive. You know what's coming, and this is how you get ready. During the transition, you're supporting all your hormones, progesterone and estrogen, and eventually testosterone as well, preventing any of them from ever dropping too low. And you're helping your body balance them if they get out of balance with each other, because it's really common for one to drop sooner or more suddenly or quickly while another is still high. And that kind of imbalance while they're changing can cause a lot of the symptoms women experience. Then after the transition, you're supporting those hormone levels. Keeping all the hormone levels high enough after menopause is one of the keys to vibrant, healthy aging. And the goal is that when you get to post-menopause, your hormones settle at a really nice high level. Now it's much lower than it was, but it's a high normal for post-menopause. The difference between that and zero is one of the big things, one of the 3 keys for healthy aging. It's important. So that's what's in your hormone management skill set. First is always knowing where you're at in that transition, proactively supporting your hormones in the phase you're at, even if you're not having symptoms, topping off the tank, keeping the hormones from going too low, and helping the hormones harmonize and balance. This prepares you well for whatever phase is coming next. Recognizing hormonal symptoms when they arise and adjusting what you're doing, giving your hormones more help where they need it to get rid of or minimize those symptoms quickly so your hormones are never out of balance for long. That's your skill set. That's your plan. If you're involved and aware, proactive, and address hormonal symptoms quickly when they happen, whatever symptoms you have during the whole transition can be very minimal. Plus, so that they're not interfering with work. Plus, in the meantime, this proactive hormonal support, starting in your late 20s if possible, can really help give you extended fertility, more energy, better sleep, less stress, easier cycles, and much slower, healthier aging after menopause. It is a win across the board, and it will keep you performing at your highest level at work because your hormones are less likely to get too low or out of balance, and if they do, you'll know right away and get them back on track quickly. And the thing you're avoiding that happens without this is feeling like your hormonal changes are out of your control, right? When the insomnia, the weight gain, the thinning hair, the hot flashes, the suddenly sagging skin, or vaginal dryness, or frozen shoulder happen and you don't know how to get rid of it. You spend so much time researching, wondering if you're doing the right thing, which remedy is safest and will help the most, or trying remedies and diets and exercise and it doesn't work, or wondering if menopause is just something you have to wait out. But it can be severe for up to 15 years. In fact, almost 25% of women have really serious menopause symptoms. Symptoms so severe, it seriously impacts their work and they think of leaving their job because they can't continue to do it. And almost all women have some degree of discomfort. In fact, about 99% of women say menopause affects their career. So this is definitely a conversation that it's important to have. And what happens? This happens right when we should be reaching the highest levels, right? Becoming leaders in our field. So here's your game plan. Don't wait till it gets bad. Be proactive and know ahead of time exactly what you will do if a symptom appears. Be ready. Don't expect your doctor to have all the answers. They're not usually fully trained in menopause, like Oprah's doctors who didn't even recognize her symptoms were hormonal. And how do you do this? Educate yourself. Learn from a hormone and menopause expert how to start supporting your hormones now. Wherever you're at, start supporting them now and keep that support up for the rest of your life. And know exactly what you're going to do if a hormonal symptom pops up so you can act quickly. The details of everything you do should be customized for your body and your hormones and for any specific symptoms that appear. But what are we talking about here? What should you be looking for? Here's a preview of a few powerful ways you can get started putting this hormonal management piece in your life skills toolkit. Phase 1. Here's a preview and a few powerful ways you can get started with this hormone management skill. So, Phase 1, I'm going to give you 2 phases. Phase 1, a few simple hormonally targeted diet and lifestyle tweaks will create a hormone-friendly environment in your body. For diet, start with a hormonal superfood like 2 tablespoons of freshly ground flax seeds per day, one of the most powerful hormonal support foods, and download my free smoothie guide for an overview of all the most important building blocks to include in your diet every day and a really easy way to get them all in at once. You can download your copy now with the link below. For lifestyle, find a stress management technique you like and start making it a regular thing, even 2 to 5 minutes a day. And I will link to a couple of free ones that I have on my blog. So, establish these healthy habits as early as possible. Menopause spikes stress and anxiety, plus high stress hormones drive down progesterone, exactly what we're trying to avoid. So having this healthy, hormonally friendly diet and lifestyle in place, it doesn't have to change your whole life. It's just a few really targeted tweaks, but having them in place ahead of time is great. Phase 2. Diet and lifestyle are not enough to really move the needle on hormonal support and hormonal balance. The only things that I have found that are powerful enough are really customized herbal remedies from certain herbal traditions or hormone replacement therapy. So you want to have something like that in your toolkit. I help women use natural remedies. If you'd like to learn about how that works, about how the natural remedies compare with the hormone replacement therapy, if you'd like to know how those natural remedies work, how they compare, contrast, and combine with hormone replacement therapy, and get your questions answered as you get your hormonal plan in place, join my next free live online workshop, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. You can save a seat with the link below. So, to sum up, don't plan to hope for the best and just wait it out whatever happens or doesn't happen during menopause. Be educated and proactive. Know what's coming and prepare for it, and have your plan in place. So if a symptom appears, you know it means hormones need support, and you know how to give them that support to get rid of the symptom quickly. This way, you'll feel your best at every stage. Be keeping menopause symptoms from ever getting severe enough to interfere with your work, and be setting yourself up for the slowest, healthiest aging after menopause. Now, I have two last personal notes to add to this article. First, we're talking about keeping menopause from interfering with work and career, but I know that when menopause symptoms get severe enough to interfere with a woman's life at work, they're also interfering with her home life, with all the relationships from partners to kids, and messing with her enjoyment of her life. So getting this hormonal plan in place is important beyond the office. And second, menopause is a new phase of life, and the hormonal changes do affect your personality and personal growth. But the big secret here is that while these hormonal changes, right, when they get out of balance, can cause unpleasant symptoms, if you let your hormones change but simply keep them in balance while they do, what you get is the benefits. You can benefit from these changes. There's an exciting opportunity here, right? The changing hormones can help us come easily into more wisdom and more perspective, and help us more easily give up some of the patterns that might have been holding us back. I'll talk more about this in another article, but I had to point it out here, right? And if you're curious about this and want me to write about it, please send me a message on YouTube or Instagram or through my website and let me know. I'm Dana Lavoie. I have been helping women through menopause in my private practice and online programs for 20 years, and I can't wait to share what I've learned with you. I hope you're excited to get involved, be proactive about hormonal support, start noticing hormonal symptoms, and take control, because you deserve to feel great at every stage of menopause, no matter what your hormones are doing. That's what your body wants. It might just need a little help getting there. Thanks so much for watching.